Hey, this is Linda here to talk to you guys about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party for the year 2018 and some of the tips so you can maximize your experience there. So this was my second time ever getting to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and really enjoyed it. So the last time we got to go, my husband and I had done the Tower of Terror 10 miler, which is no longer offered, and we went to the Halloween party. Unfortunately, Aaron had come down with strep throat, and that made it a bit tough. So we weren't really trying a lot of the foods. It was our first time. We didn't really know much about it. But we do remember the highlights and really enjoying it. So when the opportunity came up for us to go again this year, we really wanted to try it and see what it was like, see if we noticed much difference from the last time that we went, and hopefully be all healthy for it this time. It's an event that's fun for both adults and kids. They only sell a finite number of tickets, so the park is not as packed as it normally is, which gives you some extra opportunities to get on rides and some viewing for the shows. If you don't want to attend and you are at Disney while the Halloween party is going on, be warned that they will ask you to leave the park. We did see them setting up rows of cast members checking bands as they were getting into different sections, so they will at a time be asking you to leave the park. So if you are there on one of the days that the Halloween party is going on, and you haven't bought the ticket for the event, they will ask you to go. Also, if you buy a ticket for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, you do not have to buy an admission ticket for that day. It will grant you access at 4 p.m. So we'll talk about that in another video, just sort of how to maximize that bit. But if you want to go to the park all day and do the Halloween party in the evening, you will need to buy a day ticket as well as the admission for the Halloween party. All right, so let's get into the tips. So our first tip is to make sure that you costume. Unlike regular days, adults are allowed to wear costumes. However, you're not allowed to wear face masks or have fake weapons. So any masks that fully cover the face are not allowed. But face paint is okay. So this is similar to what we have up in our schools in Ontario, that you're still not allowed to bring those fake weapons to school. But it's really a lot of fun to costume. Some people's costumes were absolutely amazing. They went all out. It was awesome. We did a group costume. A lot of people like to comment on ours. We actually found out that some of the cast members, they do like a costume bingo. So they would come up and ask people to sign their bingo card, which was really cool. If you're getting into the spirit of things, some people go all out. Other people are not as comfortable with that, and they like to just wear a t-shirt, but I would definitely do something. Our second tip is that there is special food items that are just available at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. They are served at regular locations and are delicious. We got to try 2 of them. One was the milkshake. It was the candy corn milkshake, and if you like sweet things, that's up your alley. I loved sweet things. I think most people would hurt their teeth, but I absolutely loved it. The other one we tried was Oogie Boogie meringue. Yeah, it was not my favorite, but I'm really glad we tried it. It was fun. So our third tip is to make sure you get the map when you come into the event. Usually we don't get park maps anymore. We're very comfortable and aware of where everything is in the park. However, for the special event, it tells you where the trick-or-treating locations are. It tells you the time of events. It tells you where the specialty foods are and what the specialty foods you can purchase there are. And that's not available on the app. So do pick up that map when you come in to get all of that information. Our fourth tip is that there are special parades, the Boo to You parade, fireworks, and stage shows that are mostly villain themed. So when we went, we really enjoyed the parade last time. We definitely wanted to see that again. I didn't even remember the villain show, Aaron did, and so we made sure we caught all 3 of those. There are 2 times for the parade, and there are multiple times that the stage show are on, so you can try and work that around your evening. However, there is only 1 time for the fireworks show. And the parade does tend to be a bit quieter for the second showing, so that may affect which one you want to get and or how early you need to arrive to get seats. We saw the second showing this year and only showed up about 20 minutes early, and we're able to get the second row as tall people. That worked out just fine for us. Our 6th tip is that the time will go very fast. If you plan on watching the fireworks, the parade, and the show, that will not leave a ton of time for candies and rides. So just make sure you and your whole group have decided how you guys want to lay out the evening so you can maximize what you really want to do and you're looking forward to at that event. Our 7th tip is something that they didn't have a few years ago when we went, or I don't remember it, is that they do offer allergy-friendly treats. So they've got a whole plan for this. When you arrive, they will give you a separate, different colored bag that you would go to the regular trick-or-treating stations at, and they will give you these little tokens that you can then take to 2 of the locations where they will swap the tokens for allergy-friendly treats and stuff. The event is sponsored by M&M's. So I was shocked last time, and I warned my sister again, as we're both teachers, there were a lot of nuts and foods with nuts in them. And in our schools, you're not allowed any, nuts in the school. So these weren't treats that we were going to be able to take back and take to school with us. So I was really glad to see that they did offer the allergy-friendly option now for the families who require that. Our 8th tip is to bring a backpack or some other way to keep and carry your candy. You will be able to get a lot of candy. We didn't even go hardcore, I say, on the trick-or-treating. There were some people who had 4 or 5 of the little bags that they give you, and they just were carrying them on their arms. We brought backpacks. So when we filled one of the bags, we put them in our backpack. It made it a lot easier to carry around. They also sell grocery bags that are Halloween themed, so some people had got those to carry their candy around in. So if you're going for the candy, make sure you've got some way of carrying it, because you are able to get a lot of candy at this event. Our 9th tip is that it can still be very hot in Florida through September and October, and it is Florida, so there's a high chance it's going to rain. Make sure that you plan your costume and your kids' costumes accordingly. Maybe you can have layers or plans that if it's raining or if it gets hot or cold, just that you have what you want so you can be most comfortable throughout the evening. Our 10th tip is that there are no fast passes. So when you're in that standby queue, they go very quickly because you don't have the fast pass people showing up to make it a bit longer. We were shocked. Buzz often can be a longer wait. We got through that really quickly. Right after the fireworks, I guess there were a lot of people with the same idea, wanted to go do Haunted Mansion. I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a 30-minute wait. We got through it really quick. So not having those fast pass options does make it go by fast. It does mean if you're only planning on going to the evening, you cannot fast pass rides. So if there are rides that you definitely want to do, you want to be making sure that you show up at 4 to get those done. Also, some of the rides are closed as they turn into treat stations. So if that's your favorite ride, make sure you get there to ride it before it shuts down for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. We had not clicked into that, so fortunately we had done the Jungle Cruise earlier in the day, and there was one other we did that had shut down, which surprised us. Oh, the Laugh Factory. I like the Laugh Factory. That one had shut down as well, so fortunately we had done it earlier in the day. Our 12th tip. This is really important for safety, especially if you are going with young kids, is have a meeting point. As adults, we don't generally have one. Aaron realized very quickly it was insane after the fireworks show. He said, okay, if we get separated, our meeting point is Haunted Mansion. And fortunately, we had set that. I mean, 2 of the people we were with are over 6 feet tall. The other 2 of us are almost 6 feet tall. We were in costume, really easily to see, but there were so many people, we did get lost. Or not lost, separated. We did get separated, so fortunately we had that meetup point at the Haunted Mansion. So if you're going with kids or you're going with a large group, make sure you have those meetup points for if you do get separated. And this time for the fireworks show, I'm not sure if it's the amount of people they had there or for whatever reason. Usually they do keep pathways cleared for people to cross through, but they didn't do that. So it did mean that you didn't have those regular paths that you have to be moving people through quickly. Yeah, it just felt really crazy. It just felt really crazy to us afterwards. So we wanted to make sure that everybody stays safe and has those meetup points. Our 13th tip is wear comfortable shoes. Even if they don't match your costume 100%, you want to be comfortable. There's a lot of walking around, and it can be a long night. we did see a few ladies carrying their shoes. I mean, power to them, but I like to stick with my comfortable running shoes so I can enjoy the evening to the most. Our 14th tip is that there are lots of characters that you don't always get to see. So make sure that if you really want to see some of these villains, Lotso was out, Jafar, Cruella, that they do have those meeting points on the maps. Make sure you get out there and see them. They do keep them out. Some of the lines, I was shocked at how big the line was for Winnie the Pooh and to meet his friends as well. But I mean, they were in costume. It's a fun thing to do. So if you're wanting to meet these characters, they will be out as well. Our 15th tip is that there is some very unique and awesome merchandise that you can get specifically for the Halloween party. So we got a Boo to You mug. They have bags. They have Christmas ornaments, candies. So this is stuff that's only available through that Halloween time. So it does show up before the Halloween party starts. I mean, we started seeing it the day or two before when we were at the first Halloween party this year. They were then available in most of the hotels that we went to. So you don't have to buy it specifically at that event. If you're looking at the merchandise, you can get that later. However, the specialty food items will only be available at that event. You may also want to make a plan when it comes to rides. It can be a lot of walking, especially if you've been at the park all day. You don't want to be zigzagging around. So maybe you want to try and get everything done in Tomorrowland and then move on to the next zone, for example, to prevent that zigzagging. And our last tip, our 17th tip, is make sure you get there early. It does say that the party starts at 7. However, your ticket gives you access at 4. We did buy a ticket to go in during the day as well. So we went for the morning, we used our fast passes, and then we chose to come home, have a little nap, lie down, relax. So we were able to go all the way till midnight. But if you are only buying a ticket for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, you do have access at 4, and I highly recommend going there and starting to get the most out of your time in as early as possible. So those were our tips to enjoy Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party for 2018. We hope that you guys find some of these useful when you're planning your trip or just sort of enjoyed reminiscing about your time if you got to go before. If you have any other tips that we should add, please make sure you let us know in the comments below. Thanks very much for listening, and make sure you hit that subscribe and like button.